The Unitarian Universalist Church of Ventura, California, presents a homily by our minister, the Reverend Dana Worsnop, titled All Are Called, recorded on Sunday morning, May 17th, 2020.
Good morning and welcome to worship with the Unitarian Universalist Church of Ventura. We are a community of resistance, resilience, hope, strength, and abundant love. I am the Reverend Dana Worsnop, minister of this really amazing congregation. I am joined by a whole team of folks who have collaborated to bring this service into being. Here is the lineup of our entire tech team. This morning, our director is Brian Fortune. Our tech director is Andy Edgar Beltran. Our magician is Mary Nelson. And our tech support person is Kitty Merrill. The on-screen people will introduce themselves as we go along. It is so good to be together again. Let us enter sacred space.
With a chalice or a candle to light and something to light it with. Let us all light our chalices together.
Our Director of Religious Education, Emily Carroll, and I are so thrilled that we have new babies to dedicate ourselves to in our community. Here, we're going to just take a moment to get a gander at the Turner and Ferrara Wiseman families. Oh, that was so sweet. Oh, so sweet to see you. It is our faith that each child born is one more redeemer. We have long held that a child is born wholly good and that all new life is a blessing in the world. It is not ours to sanctify our children's lives, for they are already sacred.
Rather, we dedicate ourselves to the sustenance and nurture of our children and their families, to love and cherish them in times of struggle as well as gladness, to acknowledge the divine spark within each child, to weave a web of connections that will hold them close.
May your name give you strength and always call you back to who you are. May your name remind you that you belong here on this earth, in this community, and that your life is a blessing.
It's a blessing you were born, and it matters what you do. What you know about God is a piece of the truth. Let the beauty of love be what you do, and you don't have to do it alone.
We bless you with earth, good, clean dirt. May you know that you are made of the same stuff as the earth and the stars. May you always feel at home in your own body, for your body is good. Put down deep roots, play in the dirt, get muddy.
We bless you with fire. Light of this candle, reflect that divine spark which burns always in your soul. Trust your dreams. May light way in the years to come.
We bless you with water. The holy water of this congregation gathered in the mingling of the water service last fall. We bless you with water. As water ebbs and flows in your life, so too do your emotions and feelings. Play in the water. Let it rain down upon you and rush by you in rivers. Drink deeply.
We bless you with air. With each breath, may you know that you are connected to all living things. Breathe deeply, blow bubbles, run with wind.
We bless you with beauty. Your world will be full of beautiful things. And yet, roses also have thorns, and your life will have times of sadness and pain. May you always be surrounded by family and friends to help you through the trying times with love. We bless you now with beauty. It is our faith that each child born is one more redeemer.
Will the congregation speak the words of dedication and blessing on the screen? We, members and friends of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Ventura, welcome these children into our community. We promise to build a community in which they will grow, surrounded by beauty, embraced by love, and cradled in the arms of peace. We will care for them, respect them, and teach them, that they may walk all their days in the spirit of love and justice.
Amen, and blessed be. We also, both families that were delivered a quilts made by Peggy Anders, delivered this week to each family by Stephanie Tiffany. So many thanks to so many people surrounding these families and these new children with love. Each Sunday, this congregation gives away our collection to an organization in the larger community or to funds that help people in our own church. We now invite you to donate, to make your donations online, and you will see a link in the next slide, which will also be posted in the chat as a direct link. Today, our offering goes to the church's own InReach Fund. These are extraordinary times, and this fund is one of the arms of love of this community, reaching out. It helps people from the church when you find yourselves in particular financial need, and we well know that that need may come upon any one of us suddenly in these times. And we want you to know, all to know, that the church can be part of your circle of support. The guide that we have always given for what we give to people from this fund is up to $300 to address a one-time need, and up to about $500 a year. And yet, these are extraordinary times. And this may not be enough for some in need. Even $500 won't entirely cover the rent. And so your generosity to this fund helps us be flexible, helps us say yes to the extraordinary needs that these times have created for us. Please give generously as you are able, as you always do.
Our reading this morning is from T.S. Eliot, the final lines of Little Gidding in the Four Quartets. With the drawing of this love and the voice of this calling, we shall not cease from exploration. And the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time. Through the unknown, unremembered gate, when the last of earth left to discover is that which was the beginning. At the source of the longest river, the hidden waterfall, and the children in the apple tree, not known because not looked for, but heard, half heard in the stillness between two waves. Quick now, here, now, always. A condition of complete simplicity, costing not less than everything. And all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. When the tongues of flames are enfolded into the crowned knot of fire, and the fire and the rose are one.
I just want to take a moment before I dive into my homily to say that, you know, we are looking for the gifts, the joys, the new possibilities in this time, and it's a good practice. And yet also the sadness, the isolation, the depression are real. And I find myself cycling in and out of them. And I just want to say that if you feel yourself going down, please do all you can and let someone know. Reach out, please. And I do know how hard it can be to reach out when you're that far down. So please, all of us, reach out to one another. If you haven't seen somebody in a while, or they pop into your head and you've just been thinking about them, reach out. That person may be really low and they may not tell you that they are feeling so low. And yet, those reaching out, those times that we connect can make a difference. And we need to do that for each other. So please, 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 let us all be that web and reach out when we're sad, reach out when we're joyful, and let's take care of one another, please. I love you all, and I know how much love there is in this community. And let's keep it flowing. Keep it flowing. Thank you. So, one of the oldest stories in 3 traditions that we revere in this community tells of a God of life and love. Judaism, Christianity, and Islam all tell some version of the story of Noah and the ark. The parade of animals, the 40 days and 40 nights of rain, and Noah and his family and the beasts floating on an endless sea. Yet then the rain stops. The God who caused the rain reconsiders, learns a great lesson, and makes a grand promise. This God tells Noah, as it is written in the book of Genesis, in the Torah, I am establishing my covenant with you and your descendants after you, and with every living creature that is with you, that never again shall there be a flood to destroy the earth. As a sign of this promise, God paints a rainbow in the sky, saying, when I bring clouds over the earth and the rainbow is seen in the clouds, I will remember my covenant, which is between me and you and every living creature that is upon the earth. And so the rainbow in these three traditions becomes a symbol of love and faithfulness, a symbol of God's love and our embracing love. This is a God of love, a God of compassion and tenderness, of hope and service, of faith and forgiveness, of freedom from fear, a God of life, not of destruction, a universalist God. The God who made a covenant with Noah and all his descendants, which means all of us, as the story goes, because as the story goes, Noah and his family are the only humans left on earth. So we are all descendants of that family, all recipients of this covenant. Our early Universalist forebears of the 18th and 19th centuries found this loving God all over the Bible. It was a loving force in which they took comfort in a time when hellfire and brimstone preachers were trying to scare the hell out of people, quite literally in their minds. Yet, this Universalist God's love, this love was not partial. It didn't take sides. It didn't give love to some and not to others. It was radical in its day. And sometimes I still wonder that it is still so radical to many, even in our day. And maybe it's just because the message of God's wild, fantastic, immeasurable love is radical at any time. Today, our service is inspired by the mystical branches of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. All people of the book, a Muslim term acknowledging the lineage running through all three of these religions, religions that share a revealed scriptural heritage. The book tells the story of God's prophets from the beginning with Abraham through Noah, Moses, and Jesus, ending with Muhammad and in the Quran. And we Unitarian Universalists are still a people of books, of many books, lovers of words and poets, mystical and otherwise. Yet it is the mystics who are the ones who get closest to the universal truths at the heart of religions. Hafez, Rabbi Nachman of Breslov, who we'll hear from in a little bit, and T.S. Eliot, a Unitarian who became an Anglican, all wrote of God's great unifying love, a love so powerful that it overcomes fear and time and space. Early Universalists were also people of the book that spoke to them of God's universal love, a message of love that wasn't trying to scare the hell out of people. Rather, it was trying to love the hell out of this world, to love the hell out of our world. Universalism knows that only when feeling the light of God's love are we likely to blossom. In that warm light, we can grow into people who live and love, and we can grow into people who live love, breathe love, people who are love. So here is our good news. A Unitarian Universalist of what the mystics tell us. which is so good to share on a morning when we have dedicated ourselves to new babies in the church. Here's what I want those sweet babes to know. Here's what I want us all to know. You are precious. You are loved. The holy is always available to you, accessible, open, loving. It is our journey to find our way to this holy source, to this source of love. Whatever we name it, however we experience it. We live in a world that teaches us to fear. It has always been true, although now we have our own special take on fear these days. Fear that causes us to contract, to limit our knowledge and understanding even more. Fear that can so easily carry us into despair. And so we turn to mystics to help us burn our fear away, to assuage our sorrow, to dry our tears, to comfort us. Rabbi Nachman of Breslov, the founder of Hasidism, spoke of fear 200 years ago. His words inspired Jews in ghettos and concentration camps throughout Europe before and during World War II. He wrote, "In life, we have to cross a very narrow bridge. The most important thing is not to be afraid." And he wrote, "Never despair. It is forbidden to give up hope." These latter words were inscribed on the side of a building in the Warsaw Ghetto. The first words were put into a song sung in concentration camps, which I have taught to this congregation and we have sung together. All the world is just a narrow bridge, just a narrow bridge, just a narrow bridge. All the world is just a narrow bridge, just a narrow bridge, just a narrow bridge. And above all is not to fear, not to fear at all. And above all is not to fear at all. Rabbi Nachman knew that the world teaches us fear. Though he could not have envisioned the Holocaust, he knew that we live in a frightful world and our path through it can be a very narrow bridge. It helps in crossing this narrow bridge to feel a love beside us. For life does often feel so precarious at best. It also helps to have people to feel connected to. It helps to find a place of hope, an antidote to fear, a place from which we can act and move in the world with hope and courage. Unitarian turned Anglican Eliot saw this as love calling to us all, a love that as far and as deep as we might explore, a love that would bring us back to where we started, knowing the place for the first time, in a condition of complete simplicity, costing not less than everything. Words that have a new resonance for us in these days, costing not less than everything. He concluded his 4 quartets with these lines, familiar to many, and especially to those who attended worship just 2 weeks ago. And all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. When the tongues of flame are enfolded into the crowned knot of fire, and the fire and the rose are one. The church that a colleague and friend serves has been singing the hymn, There is a Love, at the end of every service since they went online. We will be singing it ourselves today again for the 3rd, 4th, 5th time, I can't remember. For it does speak. It does seem to speak to these times, and it seems to speak to a deep need, a sense of being held, a knowing that love can carry us through. This universal love that calls to us is what lies at the heart of universalism. I find this love within and among and beyond us, within and among and beyond each of us. The babes we dedicated ourselves to today are the newest manifestations of this love. I found these words written in the sand on an early morning walk recently. Though the writer may have meant it for a particular person, I read it as a message to everybody. A love that we are sharing everywhere, though it can be hard to see. Empty streets are a sign of our love for each other. Mask-clad faces, a busy group of mask makers, yet another, both signs of this love. A group from this church and others collecting furniture and household items and helping recently homeless, now newly housed people move in to apartments are yet another expression of this love. Though the fear and the anger all about us yell out for our attention, we need to look more for manifestations of love. We need to express this love in all the ways that we can. So listen to the mystics, lean into the light, feel the love. Never despair. It is forbidden to give up hope. Remember the words of Julian of Norwich, echoed by T.S. Eliot. All manner of things shall be well. You are loved. You are precious. You are capable of great love. Let that love call you. Let it call to you and share it abundantly with all. Amen. May it be so. And so now I invite you into a time of meditation. Take some moments, settle into your sacred center and breathe and see what you can feel of love calling to you. A silent meditation. Holy beingness of many names and no name, mystery beyond all naming, spirit of life and love which dwells within and among and beyond us this day and always. May we know love. May we let love call to us. May we listen to that call and be moved. May that love help our fear burn away. May we carry it with us across the narrow bridge. May we let it comfort us in times of despair, loneliness, sadness. May we let it call us to reach out to one another. May we stay together, knowing that we are good and holy. May we let love call to us, and may we answer that call. And may all those who are ill find healing. May those who are in despair find hope. May those who are without shelter find home. And may all those in conflict and war throughout the world, may they and we know peace. Amen. Blessed be.
Please join Reverend Dana in extinguishing your chalice at home. We extinguish the chalice, but not the light in our hearts, the warmth of community, or the assurance of goodness that we have found here. Those we carry into our lives again.
I leave you with these words from Mo Tse. Yep, and as soon as my scroll, there we go. The words of Mo Tse, a wisdom writer from about the 15th century BCE in China, contemporary of Confucius. And we end with words from the Eastern religious traditions because we can, and why not? Mo Tse wrote all those millennia ago, when all the people of the world love, then the strong will not overpower the weak, the many will not oppress the few, the wealthy will not mock the poor, the honored will not disdain the humble. So let us endeavor to be a people of such love. Go forth in peace, go forth in good health, go forth and express your abundant love. May it be so.
We hope you've enjoyed All Are Called, presented by the Reverend Dana Worsnop, recorded on May 17th, 2020, for the Unitarian Universalist Church of Ventura, California.